It has been 420 years since we last.
Since the last pod, what has gone on? I grew a wiener. Sorry about all of you who are wiener averse, but I did grow one. It's right here in my lap.
And if you're a paid member of our... No, we don't have any paid member. You could see it for money. You can see it for money.
You can see it if you have money.
It's not
That's
true.
Not true.
It's not true.
We're not selling wieners, folks. We're not even
yet.
selling ideas.
The brain flew slick with ectoplasmic juice.
Ecstatic energy, a fire that fuels our memory.
What genealogy with spiritual topography?
Questions for your answers. We are data necromancers. We might be selling t-shirts. Whitney's selling t-shirts.
Dude, I know. I gotta come back. I can't print our special super secret Mod Pod because there's so many colors.
Oh.
But we could figure it out. We could get maybe iron-ons or something.
Or you can just print the stencil and then I'll hand paint each one.
Okay. Yeah.
And then they'll be like $80 a piece.
This might be a dark episode. So know that. I have been in the throes of just insane, strange depression and upheaval in a really weird way. And I feel a little bit I don't even really know how to describe it. It's there's a tectonic plate shifting and I feel way too plugged into it. And it's disrupting my consciousness.
I mean, so I don't know where to begin. When you said that you wanted to develop these powers of perception of things that aren't readily available to our senses to perceive, I was like, are you sure?
You know what? I am so glad you brought that up because
I feel like it's a door that you open and then how do you close it? How do you get free from it? And I was listening to a podcast earlier, the telepathy tapes, and a mom noticed that her autistic kid could detect other people with them in the room when they were very young, and she didn't encourage it. She didn't try to stifle it, but she didn't encourage it because she didn't want her kid to have access to this world where she couldn't see what was going on. She had no control over what was going on. So it's almost like you have to make a decision. Is this how you want your life to be? Or do you want to turn away from it and not have that in your life at all?
Yeah, I made a distinctive choice to tap in. And I can see the lunacy that comes with that. And I'm trying to figure it out, and I think it's the hardest to figure out right now when my children are young and sleep is hard to come by and everything is far more difficult than it needs to be. But yeah, so it's I started offering readings and fucking slam dunking those, and it's so much fun.
Hell
and
yeah.
It's such an honor and such a privilege and it's a fun language to learn, and I'm eager to keep learning it. I could see why it's a lot of mediums that I've met don't do readings all the time, and they don't I think they don't want to. It's something you can do, but then once you are proficient, you're that's enough.
Thanks very much. I'm done proving myself. I'm going to go be silent in a room with candles now. Goodbye. Or what's preferable? How would you rather use your powers?
I don't know.
Other than giving readings.
I haven't. Oh, well that is what my therapist asked. She's like, if you could do anything with your abilities that you've spent so much time honing, what would you do? And I said, I would be a death doula. Because I've wanted to be a death doula since high school. But now I'm getting rocked with that. Like, oh, you want to be a death doula? Why don't you stare tragedy in the face and see what happens? Because somebody in my family recently lost their baby in a pretty, I would say, abrupt way, unanticipated. And it has like rocked my shit, and like all the ancestors are coming to my house all the time, and toys are going off like they never have before, and I can feel a presence in the house, and all these things are just streaming in all the time. And I've been trying to like put up boundaries and say, hey, I don't need to be tethered to the person who lost somebody right now. It's not helpful. But I don't know, it almost seems like this typhoon that's like, well, you have to share it. Like, that is just part of it. And it's like, I don't think I do, but back to the tectonic plate shifting, it almost feels like there's a churning of karma, or like the vessel that I have access to is like somebody turned on the garbage disposal, and it's like churning a lot of stuff, and it feels really crazy. And then also, like, my sister's moving back to Minnesota, and she's, I don't know, like, there's so many things I'm feeling right now. And then my therapist often goes, well, what are you doing for you? And I'm like,
who is me?
Working and wiping asses, and not having time to wipe my own ass, and not doing anything for fun anymore, because it's just like, it's just that is what's happening right now. It's really
you're
crazy.
Grinding. Not only are you grinding in the material realm, but you're grinding in the spiritual realm as well.
Yes. And what's crazy is I had an anxiety portal opened up 2 weeks ago, and it was really, really intense. And I've worked with this in parts therapy. It's like a existential part of me that lives on the dark side of the moon, or has access to versions of us that are gone because we grew up. It's like really crazy. Yeah.
Whoa.
And I was like being rocked by this really intense anxiety, but I was like, oh my God, it feels like every panic attack I've ever had my whole life is leading up to this moment. It's almost like there's like a time continuum thing happening with that feeling.
Where time is not linear, but circular, cyclical?
Yeah, I was like, all those times I had a panic attack as a kid and a teenager until now was because of this moment. Yeah, dude. And I don't know what that means. I don't know.
But you're open to it.
That's all. It was like clairsentience. Like, I knew that. That's all I knew. I don't know anything beyond that. But that was a really crazy realization.
Wait, was that a dream or a daydream, or just
No, it was just like a knowing. Like, that Monday I was having a really bad panic attack, and I haven't had one in a decade, and I was like, this is linked to all the other panic attacks I've ever had. It's like this moment.
Whoa. That is insane. And it takes me to another thing that I learned in this podcast, where the anxiety that autistic people feel when they're like around loud sounds or bright lights or lots of people blocks their ability to communicate. So it's like your panic attacks, your anxiety is sort of like the other side of your ability to be open and to receive and to hear and to interpret. But it's like, maybe you have to pass a hurdle in order to get over the anxiety that's blocking you from really receiving.
Yeah, I feel like I've been wide open with the anxiety.
Oh, and it hasn't lessened the
flow
flow at all.
No. It's the opposite. It's almost like too much.
Okay. There's no control on it.
Right.
There's a lizard right there. Oh, he's just turning around. There he goes on the top of the fence.
Oh, I see him. There are so many lizards in my house, and I don't know how they're getting in. Oh, yeah, baby.
Hey, shake it. She's like,
hey. It's like he's got hydraulics or something.
Yeah, he's definitely just clicked on the hydraulics. Well, so tell me more about where you were, what was happening when you had that panic attack.
I was at home and I was uncontrollably sobbing.
Because of the baby?
Well, I didn't think it was that then, but I was talking to my mom, who is tapped in and always has been, but to a detriment. And she was like, oh, your family member was leaving where the baby passed, or I'm going to say, I hate saying passed or died, because to me, I deeply believe that's not what happened. You dropped your body. Like, you just left your body.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to stop exist. Oh, this is part of the lunacy too. That reminds me. And my mom was like, maybe it was that. Maybe you were like tethered to that. And I was like, that makes sense, because I was uncontrollable. Like, I couldn't even work. And there was a bunch of crows on my house on the side. There's never crows all over my house. And the last time a bunch of crows showed up, a bunch of ancestors for one of Lucas's baby who passed or dropped their body showed up. There was crows all over the roof, pecking on the roof.
What?
Yeah.
So your mom thinks that you were kind of spiritually tethered to the baby?
Or tethered to the mom. Yeah.
So you're sharing her pain?
So it was like, felt like that. And then I also, the reason why I thought it was shared is because I picked up on my sister's stuff too. And then I picked up on my nephew's stuff too. So like suddenly, I don't know what the fuck happened, but suddenly I can like tap in to people's shit. And I don't know why that would be beneficial to anybody. I don't understand.
Well, isn't this like the esoteric empath kind of thing?
Right. And I guess maybe it's just like, instead of being at the mercy of it, it's like, no, I'm not connecting to you right now. It's not helpful. Maybe, does it help them? I don't know. Maybe,
to share it?
Yeah. Like, does it expand bandwidth or not?
Like, lessen their pain?
Not that I think I can lessen anybody's pain, or that I think that I should do that, but I don't know. I have no idea.
But it seems like you're in the business of easing suffering in some way, like with this death doula trajectory. Being a death doula is like easing people into that experience. Maybe you are meant to help ease pain.
Right. And I was listening to a Ram Dass talk where he, in Tibet, the monks will go watch the birds eat dead people, to like sit in the suffering and to like face it and not look away from it, or it's kind of like training. It's like, you are not your body. Suffering is part of this great continuum. And I feel like that, and it's crazy because, so I have these beliefs. These are things that I know. You do not die. It's also that way in quantum physics. It's like nothing is ever lost. Nothing disappears. But in our society, it's still very post-World War II, embalmed, sorry for your loss.
You become a commodity. Well, you're a commodity throughout your entire life, but then when you die, you just get packaged and wrapped and shrink wrapped and sucked and whatever.
And so that makes me feel crazy. Because it's not true. We live in this lie. Our society does. We're like, societies all over the world. Like in Mexico, they have Dia de los Angelitos. They have a day where they remember kids who have dropped their bodies. And it's like, wow, that sounds really cathartic and really important, and why don't we do that? The list goes on of all mostly Eastern cultures that have practices that help you process people dropping their body. But in us, it's like, they need to be alone. It's like, nobody needs to be alone. How long is Shiva? Like 7 days?
7 days.
Native Americans, it's a 3-day ceremony. In India, like, preparing somebody to be burned in a funeral pyre is 2 days. Bathing the body, cleaning the body, decorating the body. What do we get?
Call the ambulance now. Get it out of here. Incinerate it.
Like, I remember pulling the sheet over my dad because I was like, nobody's going to come in here or say anything or do anything, because he was turning colors and I didn't really want my sister to like see that. And then they come in and they start taking down all the IVs because it's over. The show's over. All the things that were there making his heart beat are like, it's over. And then the nurse was like bonking his head with like the IV stuff, and there's just like dried blood everywhere, and she's like making jokes about, she was trying to lighten the mood. Oh, look, it's Dad. Let me get in that.
Hey, bud.
And I was like, this is inhumane.
Definitely, but I feel like it's deliberately inhumane because of how frequent it is and how separated we are from our families, and like every individual has to work their whole lives in order to make money. So the people who would have prepared his corpse are no longer affiliated with that because they don't have time to know what's most important, you know? Like, if we lived in small groups still, smaller than however many people are in fucking Austin, Texas, millions and millions of people, if we still lived in small groups, then we would have sat with his body, we would have done the rituals, he would be interred, or he would be sky burial, or we would do a Viking funeral or whatever. But I feel like the reference to the Eastern cultures who have these like lengthy funerary practices and rites, they also have like cultural longevity. Whereas we are not, 200 years old? We are chump change. And our traditions are constantly in flux. And they're so separated from even the, Judeo-Christian shit that it's all based on. And our new god is the almighty dollar. Like, there's no reference for... Like, I will admit that most people that I've met in this country are Christian in some form, or Jewish. They have this Abrahamic monotheistic perspective on the universe. And I think that those cultures, well, at least Christianity in specific, place so much emphasis on the afterlife that the trappings of this life have, like, the importance has fallen away. It's not a priority anymore. Because what they really want is immortality. They want to be in heaven with God. And when you put the emphasis on that instead of our material bodies, our life, our nature, our environment, then everything else is less important. And we don't... I don't know. I think that's the biggest reason why Republicans don't care about pollution. Other than making money. It's like they don't give a fuck because they're gonna go to heaven, and in heaven everything's perfect, and God is a white man who sits in a big chair. You know?
You watched the Da Vinci Code recently.
I loved every minute of it.
And it's hard. It's also was hard for me not to go to Mexico City and look at these gargantuic Walmart style cathedrals that are hundreds of years old and be like, they conquered.
Catholicism is a hell of a drug.
They conquered.
But it was through suppression.
And it's so clear that it wasn't about God or Jesus. It was just about control and land. They fucking got what they wanted. They got the land. They stopped all the not moats. It was like Venice in Mexico. It used to be. It's pyramids and
the cenotes and stuff.
It was all underwater like Venice. And like they built all these dams and dried it up. I don't know. I also think too, it's like here we are sitting like amongst tariffs and expensive eggs and healthcare that's unaffordable and chaotic and hard to navigate, and we don't do anything. Whereas like the French, they lowered the speed limit. It's like everybody left their house and went to protest in the streets. Every small change, the farmers in France, I forget, they changed some law. All the farmers like drove all their tractors to City Hall and blocked everything because they're like, fuck you. And obviously it's like they've been revolting.
They have a rich tradition of revolution.
And we've just been sanitized of our will because we've been fed propaganda.
Well, and we're sedated.
Oh, yes.
We are so thoroughly sedated, not just with drugs and alcohol, but also with food and mind-numbing entertainment. And it's all very much on purpose. Like we can't lift our heads up anymore. There's nothing worth fighting for. We're completely dispirited.
On the ride over here, I rode my motorcycle over here, and every single driver had their phone in their hand.
It's crazy, right?
Nobody's paying attention.
It's wild.
What are you doing that's so interesting? I was like, is it because we're constantly being pinged about work? Like, hey, did you get that thing done yet?
I need those TCP reports on my desk by midnight tomorrow night, noon.
And especially like in my this chapter of like grieving and loss and upheaval and being tapped into whatever plates are shifting, I'm like looking around and nothing feels right and nothing feels at home because everybody is so wiped. It's so, we're starved for community, we're isolated. It's like it's like, should I go back to Minneapolis and go help my family? That doesn't feel right. I don't know what feels right. What's happening? It's like, it's just chug along, just sit in traffic by yourself forever. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Should I build something with my hands to like, should I build a pyramid? I don't know.
Well, I think that is definitely something worthwhile because you're always using your brain to like try and figure out the universe and all its happenings, but you need to give that thing a fucking break. You need to do something that does not require brain power.
I know, Luke, we were
this
working
is me talking as your mother. You need to dig a hole that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
You just need to do something where your body is engaged, but your brain can just like take a rest. Because it sounds like you don't even get rest at night when people are sleeping.
No.
And you gotta rest that thing. That's how you come to realizations or like, you know, puzzle pieces that you've been struggling with.
You know,
your unconscious brain will solve those things.
I spend no time distracted at all. And I think that's why I'm getting hit so hard right now with so many different things, and maybe it's purposeful because I'm like, my TV is not mine. It's always got something on the kids are screaming for. the books have no time to be read. It's like there's a lot of, I guess, dwelling, but I do spend a lot of time disengaging and meditating. But that often leads to more insight than I want. But it's funny, I was at the gym yesterday and Lucas said, isn't it great to exert yourself? Like, doesn't your brain feel good? And I said, what?
Your brain is off?
I said,
mine is reeling.
I exerted myself and I don't feel like a weight has been lifted at all. And he was like, what? I was like, nope. I feel more tired than I was. He was like, oh, I have to exert myself, otherwise I go crazy. And I was like, this is not my thing.
You are special one. You are very special one, and we know this. We've been knowing this. Because if I go do shooty hoops and just like fucking jam on the court and like slam a few down, and then, I don't know, just all of a sudden I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. Oh, I thought of a hilarious joke. It's like something gets unstuck when I go and do something like that. So I think I understand what Lucas is trying to communicate in like getting into your body so that your brain.
Oh, that's quick.
Oh yeah. Just like getting into your body so that your brain can have some privacy. My brain needs privacy in order to do the big calculations. And I don't know, yours is what? A perpetual motion machine? How does it function? So, okay, do you experience the flow state? What are you doing when you get into flow?
I nodded for those of you who are not watching. This is so sad. It's like,
not trying to put you on the spot.
I edit and then I go into the flow state.
Oh, yeah. I feel that.
Or when I'm doing a reading, I go into the flow state.
Hell yeah.
But I think I need to get dirty or something.
I would recommend digging a hole because
I think I need to dig some holes.
It'll definitely engage muscle groups that are rarely used, and you will get really sore, and that will give you a new sense of like.
I also feel like I just want to build a house or something. Like, I just want wood and a hammer, and I don't want anybody to talk to me.
Let's do it. I'll get you wood and a hammer. You gonna need some nails. I mean, it doesn't even have to be there doesn't need to be a result.
No.
Just the action of doing it, I think, would be cool.
That bird just shit.
Thanks, shitter. I was thinking about that when you were talking about the monks witnessing the birds tearing apart the corpses. That is a meditation on impermanence.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I am that person being devoured by a bird. I am food for a bird, and soon I will be bird shit.
This morning, as I drove by the Austin State Hospital, which is the oldest asylum in Texas, I asked Lucas, I said, would you still love me if I was lobotomized? He was like, yeah. Yeah. And I was like, because that sounds really nice. And he's like, God, you're so fucked up. And I was like, what?
Well, I feel like that's what we're after when we do drugs and substances. It's like temporary lobotomization. But I believe that you are powerful enough to temporarily lobotomize yourself without, I
bet you
someone actually scooping out your brain matter.
60% of this is poor sleep.
Yeah, what can I do to help you sleep? Do you want to sleep here before you go home?
I bet you it's like those are methods of torture at Guantanamo Bay, is sleep deprivation.
It blows my mind. If you could be this high functioning without sleep, imagine what you could do if you actually
think I'm
got
high
sleep.
Functioning?
You're incredibly high functioning. You're just like, on to the next Oh, gotta do. Oh, yeah, you gotta do this. Here's this thing you brought. I gotta go over here and do this. You're just like a rapid fire producer. You're a madman. But you would still be you if you didn't do any of this shit that you do.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what sounds nice? Going to the beach.
I knew you were going to say that.
I was like, maybe that's what I need to do. It's like, take the girls and go to the beach.
We
And
could
just,
go
like,
to South Padre.
Yeah, it's just like, sometimes I do think that the city can be, can make somebody go crazy.
There's a beautiful, I think it's the largest spring-fed pool in Texas.
In West Texas.
Balmorhea.
So, I've only been there once.
Me too, but it's so like crystal blue. Like there's goopiness because it's a natural body of water. But it's so cool how it's like this oasis in the middle of the desert.
The desert sounds like a good move too. Like it's desolate and spiritual and reflective and sacred.
It's also alive and bursting with life. You just have to like see all the different forms that life can take, because it's spring in the desert and like the ocotillos are in bloom and then like all this crazy shit like starts running around when the sun goes down. It's so wicked. I like the reminder that everything will just continue doing what it does.
No matter what.
No matter where you are, what you're doing, or what you're thinking, or what's happening. Everything just pushes on. What is it? Dr. Ian Malcolm, Jurassic Park? Life finds a way. Chef Goldblum. Thanks for sharing all of the dismal feelings you've been feeling.
I didn't even go as dark because I don't need to. I don't even need to go through all the things that I have been I don't feel the need to regurgitate it. It's just been one of the darkest periods yet, which I guess seems natural in a way.
Like you progressively become more and more powerful and so can take more and more darkness.
I didn't think about it that way. It's like a disillusion. It's like a dissolving.
Well, I mean, I feel like one of your goals is to peer behind the veil, and you're like working up towards it. You have to steel yourself. You must become impenetrable. But I guess that's not the idea. It's not about being impenetrable to the darkness. You have to let the darkness flow through you and then stand back up. And
yes, so I got sick. We've also been very sick.
We've been sick.
We have been so sick. I feel bad. I was contaminated by my children. Megan got contaminated through me.
I mean, it would have happened.
It was crazy.
It was inevitable.
This is the inoculation that happens when you are around small creatures that touch everything and put everything in their mouths. They are living, breathing petri dishes.
Mm-hmm.
But I had some of the most intense stomach cramps I've ever had in my fucking life. And it's weird that there's nothing you can do about that. It's just like stomach cramps.
Did you do a heating pad or something?
I got into the bath.
Yeah.
I got into a hot bath. And as I was sitting in the hot bath, I was staring at the pain I was feeling. I was staring at the grief I was feeling. I was staring at the sorrow I was feeling. And Ram Dass, his voice came to me and was like, "This is the first time you've ever done this, huh?" And I was like,
what was he saying is this?
like staring at
Face
it.
the pain?
Staring at it. And like it was a supportive conversation that he had with me about just cracking stuff open again and again and again. And I had this crazy meditation of a dragon. It just like, it has been a crazy spiritual journey, like in the city of Austin, in, you know, no pilgrimages to anywhere, no sweat lodges. It's like a fucking bathroom and a hot bath and just like hallucinating my balls off.
But that's the key.
Isn't that crazy?
To the realization is, that's part of the realization. You don't have to go anywhere special.
No.
You don't need to perform any specific ritual or rite. It is you. It is within you. The struggle, the pain, the realization, it's all in you. And so when you're ready to face it, you just have to be right wherever you are. Because that's where it is.
Always. Yeah, because I told Lucas, I was like, what if I packed my bags and went to Tibet and watched sky burials? And he's like, you're needed here.
I think you should take a vacation and do that and come back. But you are needed
Don't
here.
you want to go to Vietnam too? Wouldn't that be sick?
Absolutely. I want to go to Southeast Asia. I always wanted to go to China.
China would be sick. I'm just like, I've thought a lot about people in my life dying. That's what I think about. It's what I've studied my whole life for. I have a feeling that in the next few decades I will be helping a lot of my family members come to terms with death. I feel like I'm going to prepare my whole life to help a lot of people through that, including myself, although I think of sweet relief when I think about that birth into the unknown happening. But that's just me. Where was I going with this?
You've really relinquished all of the attachments.
Yes, no attachments. Okay. Oh, so if I were to lose somebody in my immediate family, I'm like, I'm going to the Himalayas. See you guys fucking later. I'm gonna go find that.
What is it?
Guru who's 200 years old.
Where he's like,
oh, Jiao.
Jiao!
What did Jiao mean
Jiao.
again?
Like, fuck off. Or not now.
Like,
or
respectfully.
Don't.
Hold on. Oh, my phone's up there.
Here, I'll look it up.
Jiao.
Oh, go with blessings. Go with grace. Or go with my love. Basically, it's like, go away.
Yeah, wasn't the story like he was made this huge pilgrimage, had this huge question to ask Neem Karoli Baba, and he was like, Jiao. It's like, shit.
God
I came this whole way. And he's
Yeah,
just
but
like,
it goes back
Jiao.
to like, it's within you, bruv. I don't know. I have been feeling so peaceful.
You have worked so hard for this. I've seen you go through so many things. It's so nice to watch you lay the foundation to like your temple. It's
I
like your
never
apartment was a
thought-
cocoon.
Yes, that was where I was in gestation.
That's where you were wrapped up, often isolated yourself, or recharging rather. Maybe you were recharging.
Definitely.
And now it's like the opposite. Now you can spread your wings and like get sucked into your partner's life and like flutter and flourish and fly and chill and reach. It's like all the things are happening.
It's very cool. I'm very honored to have the opportunity to have such a cool life. I don't think I don't want to use the word deserve, because I don't know if people really get what they deserve. I don't deserve this. But
maybe you've worked really hard towards this.
I accept that
you've done a lot of work to get here, so whether you don't like this, I think
yeah, some people work and never get the reward though.
That's because we could go into that. I could tell you people I know about that who are working and not getting
like
the
work is not in the right direction, or not with the right.
It's a distraction.
Well, I don't know. I'm just trying to be really grateful and not.
You've always been very grateful.
Yes, I think you're right. And it feels just like so luxurious and opulent to like sit in the backyard and like look at all the things growing and like not be needed anywhere, not have to go do anything. I told you recently that I used to average like 7 hours on my phone.
That was crazy.
A day.
That is crazy.
And now it's down to 2 hours or less.
You are free.
That has been such a relief, because it, Rubbish Cook, my personal shit, Let's Eat Austin, God Morning America, all this shit that I was trying to like broadcast and promote and consider, like, I just don't. I like think about it from time to time and I'm like, I don't have anything to say. Whereas before I would be like, think of something to say, put something there, you must share something. But now I'm like, no, I'm just gonna keep it for myself. And that, just like deciding to keep it for myself, has been such a transformative decision.
The less he spoke, the more he heard.
I definitely feel like I'm becoming like stronger and richer and smarter, just like doing my thing instead of just. And I got a lot of joy out of sharing a lot of things with people, and I know people have reached out and said that they get a lot of joy out of, the cooking or the dancing or like the jokes or whatever I'm doing out there. And I love that, and I don't want that to end necessarily, but I think that keeping it for myself has been really delicious and decadent, and I just feel like I have more value. Like my value is soaring. I am too expensive for everybody else. But
interesting.
Not that I would do it for money. I don't think the value is in cash.
I think it's self-exploration.
Mm-hmm.
It's realizations. It's cutting off what kind of dopamine milking or dopamine chasing stagnancy were you experiencing through self-pressured expression versus true expression? What does that look like? I don't know.
I'm editing a video inside. I'll show it to you when we're done.
Yeah.
It's like not trying to anticipate what people want and then quickly throwing it together and throwing it up before midnight. It's like, well, what do I want to give?
It's the hardest thing.
And it's so cool to be like over that hump and having made that realization, like, oh shit, I don't have to do any of that dumb bullshit. I don't. I can do whatever I want.
And what does that look like?
And yeah, like exploring what it is that I really want to do. I want to make food. I want to nourish my loved ones with the food that I make. And I just want to like support and build community however I can. And if that's like making food for you, making food for my mom, making food and just sharing it, or yeah, I don't know. I've been really jamming just like making food for me and Dan, and like making his bento box before he goes to school. And he's such a fucking dreamboat. Like, I make him this bento box, which I've always fantasized about, just like making my partner's food for them that will nourish them throughout the day. And he fucking loads it into his backpack and rides off on his bicycle. I'm like, you're a fucking professor of sustainability?
Dude, yes, this is the
Where
life.
am I and how did I get here? I was explaining it to someone the other day. His granny, Dan's granny, is like this fucking spiritual being. She went to seminary and like was not a priest, but whatever her equivalent in her religion is. And she's just like very wise and open and accepting. But I told her that I like dreamed of Dan before I met him, and we like came together, and she was like, tell me more about that. And I was like, well, I don't know, I was just thinking of how I would want my dream partner to be, like who my soulmate would be and what he would be like. And I like listed a lot of Dan's qualities, like, well, he's got to be really funny, he's got to be brilliant, you know, he has to be affectionate, empathetic, and you know, thoughtful, and all this stuff. And he just showed up. And I feel like that's like the big secret of life, whereas it's not a secret because people do it all the time. Some people call it like manifesting or visualization, or I saw this video of like the Blue Angels or whatever, you know, those like jet pilots. They like fly the fucking whatever, and they were sitting around a conference table in a room, and they had their eyes closed, and somebody was going over the details of the mission that they were about to embark on, and they were like, each of them miming every single step that they were about to take on the actual flight, but they were going through it in their imagination first.
That's what motorcycle racers do.
And your brain doesn't know that this is a dry run. So you actually learn from the practicing, which is what some scientists have posited dreams are partially for. It's like you see scary shit, you see shit that freaks you out in your dreams, so that when you wake up, you have a little bit of an idea of how to behave. It's like training. And I feel like that the power of my imagination has led me to this world that you see before you.
100%. Shout out Dan's granny.
Shout out Dan's granny. Granny Helen! Her and Dan are taking vegan pasta on May 1st. Oh. Yeah! I also keep thinking of new vegan classes to make. I want all my classes to be vegan.
How old is Dan's granny?
70. On the later end of 70.
That's a young granny.
I think that's true, yeah.
My grandma, who just died, was 92 or 93.
Wow.
But she had, well, it's weird. She had my mom at like 44. And my mom had me at 19. So it's like,
whoa.
I guess. I don't know. It's crazy.
44. Are you going to have more babies at 44?
Every day.
10 years from now?
I think about it every day.
More children?
One more, yeah. Or I think about adopting, but then I'm like, ugh. Or fostering. It's like, that's just, I don't know. I think about a lot of stuff. Because like Poochie is the worst birth control.
Because she's so cute.
She's so cute. She's so snuggly. All she does is hold my hand all day. And she'll hug my hand. She'll just hold my hand like a baby. And I'm just like, Ruby was like, could run a factory when she was 12 months old. Ruby could drive a car at 18 months. She was always on fire, and it's funny, I was looking at videos of her last night and I was like, she was always there. She was always there. She made the same sounds, the same screams, the same. So Poochie's like this tender, soft, lovey, shy, holds my face, and then she'll play with my hair, and I'm just like, what's the next one? Like you, or like Ruby, or like both, or completely different?
A new one. A brand new one.
My body feels like depleted. Like
I cannot do it.
It cannot generate another one.
How are there some women who have like 18 kids?
I don't know.
They must drink a lot of milk.
I think they are inherently very maternal and only want to raise children, and I respect that. I don't have that. But I am motivated by this surprise fun egg aspect of like did you know, like, this, maybe I sent this to you, I probably did, but the way we've been taught that the egg is fertilized is that the fastest, strongest sperm fight, and it's like, no, that's not how it works. We've just been taught that.
How does it work?
The egg chooses.
Oh, I have heard of this.
The egg, it's like, because all this relatively new research that has gone into it has seen that the male-dominated medical side of things had one narrative and it stayed that way for a long time. But when they started doing more research, they're like, no, the egg chooses.
Isn't that the truth about everything that we know? It's like if you look further into it, it's like, actually not like that at all.
The clitoris wasn't mapped out in an anatomy book until like 10 years ago. Like,
it's not an important part of physiology. So much of our world has been suppressed.
Yes. And it's time the reckoning is happening.
The reckoning,
I hope,
is bursting forth. But we need people to act.
Nobody wants to do anything.
We need people not to act selfishly. We need people to act for the common good. I just read this book called The Dispossessed by Ursula K. Le Guin, and it's a sci-fi. It's a masterwork. And it's about this planetary system where there's a lush sort of Earth-like planet with a moon that's like rich in minerals, and this faction from the lush planet just is tired of all the bullshit. There's this religious, philosophical, she wouldn't call herself a religious leader because she doesn't deal with religion, but she's like, we want to go live on the moon and do it our way. We are anarchists. We don't want the state. We don't want to own anything. We don't want any money. We want to work for the joy of working. We want a different type of society. So they found this Odonian utopia basically on the moon, and then 200 years later, this dude named Shevik, who's a physicist on the moon, he wants somebody to appreciate his work, so he goes down to the planet for the first time since the agreement and like sees how they live, like with possessions and with money and with, you know, capitalist governments and all this shit. And it's such a good book. As soon as I finished the last word, I wanted to turn back to the beginning and start reading it again. Because it
How'd you come across this book?
We have it on our shelf. I read Ursula K. Le Guin when I was in college because I took like a science fiction and society class. Lots of good books on that reading list. But I was just like looking at our shelf, and I picked up a book that had a bookmark like in the middle of it, and I opened it, and the bookmark was on chapter 7. And the bookmark was actually a plane ticket. And it was Keller's plane ticket from when they went to Italy in 2017. And I was like, is it okay if I read this book to Dan? And he was like, yeah, of course, you can read anything here. And I was like, there's still a bookmark in here. He was like, yeah, Keller was reading that when we went to Italy. So I was like, I'm going to read this book. And I don't know, it emphasized the importance of the individual, but only in the context of the group. Like, we need each other. We need to work with each other and work together to achieve what our society could be. Whereas, you know, most people are self-motivated, or they want money, or they want fame, or they want power. And those are all polluting concepts.
Well, and they're not only are they tasteless, but they're not fruitful.
They don't satiate.
Look at what fame did to so many people. Does that... Why... What?
Fame is not something I have ever...
No.
Maybe like a glimpse when I was like talking to Doug and like that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I was like, whoa, what if this is a possibility? But then seeing like
how miserable everybody is.
How, yeah, it's like that dopamine milking kind of like, oh, you're only relevant if people are paying attention to you. Like, bleh. But yeah, fame is a monster. And then the thing about how, you know, people are only as rich as they allow themselves to be, like, to an extent. If you start to make more money, you'll just get more expenses, you know? And then, like, people who make $4 million a year, they have, like, houses in a bunch of different states and, like, a big yacht, and I don't know. I don't want stuff.
Well, yeah, it's like, I told Lucas, I was like, I can't do this mom thing by myself, and you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to do it by yourself.
No way.
It's impossible, almost, and I can't believe most moms are functioning alone. It's crazy. Like, the fact that Erica is still alive is wild to me, because she has been alone this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's working less, and we have significantly less money. And I was like, people work more because they want more money? I just want a roof over my head and to feed my kids. And I think a lot of people are starting to wake up to that. It's like, I don't want more stuff.
I want more time with my friends and family.
And I don't want to retire. It's such a... So you got to work really hard, and then at 65 you stop, and then you have nothing to do.
And then you go visit all the state and national parks in the country. I mean, I feel privileged to have a job where I work when the business is booked.
Yeah.
But I don't work.
Can you imagine?
I don't have a 9 to 5 Monday through Friday.
For somebody else.
I just cringe to think about it. And I know that some people don't have a choice.
But don't think about other people. Just think about you. Like, at the hotel again. Like, trying to listen to somebody. The person above me was always making the worst decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And you would watch it be a cataclysm.
Yeah, you're like, you want to do what?
And then they would do it, and then the whole thing would light on fire, and then everybody would burn, and you're like, yeah, duh. It's like, I can't even comprehend witnessing that anymore. I'm mostly speaking of, I'm sure maybe it's different if you find a nice architectural firm or graphic design firm where you like your coworkers and your boss. I'm sure that is a reality. I'm thinking mostly from the jobs I've had where it's just like, oh, we're all burning alive.
Well, I think that's a big part of growing up too, is realizing that people don't really become wise or responsible or like reliable as a result of getting older.
No.
It's like maybe 1 in 10 people will have those characteristics, but it's not because they're an adult. Adults are just children with bigger bodies. And
Yes.
a ton of managers that I've had in the past, people that I've worked for, are just children who have more power. And it's gross and terrifying to think about all these people in all of the corporations and institutions.
I feel
and
so bad. I was like, Whitney, navigating talking to parents at my child's school, which I need to keep an eye on the clock now that I say that out loud.
Oh shit, you gotta go get her.
And I was like, well, she needs me to pick her up because Titi and Baba won't be there. She's like, I need my mom.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, how's your day to another parent? And he goes, just a series of endless meetings about nothing that matters. And like, he's kind of just saying the thing.
Another day in paradise.
And I didn't know what to say. There's only one response. I looked at him and I said, that sounds like hell.
No shit.
And it freaked him out that I said that, because I think he's just saying the thing, this job that is lifeless and all this stuff. And I couldn't help myself.
You're like, I'm sorry.
That sounds useless. Why would you do that?
When I lived with Emma, she would constantly be in meetings from like 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
No.
And I'm like,
no.
What are you talking about? What are you doing?
It's like they're never working. They're
Right?
only ever meeting.
It's like, well, what are we doing? Why do I need to be here? You're talking, what? I think our business should meet slightly more often, but not like that.
Well, and our meetings are like, hey, so we've been out of paper towels for 40 years. Like, does anybody want to get
Is anybody gonna go buy some to-go boxes? We need tasting spoons.
It's not like, so did everybody see that in Q1 on the 3rd Thursday of the first month that you're like, what?
You guys are not paying close enough attention to the regulations surrounding the...
I don't even know how to fake a memo in an office.
It doesn't matter, because you and I have chosen a different life.
I'm so happy. I'm so happy.
There's office jobs out there where people like their jobs. There's also very few... I'm jaded. Lucas works at a children's hospital and we have no benefits. We have no anything. We have nothing. And I'm sure that there's got to be some companies out there that still take care of their people, hopefully.
Definitely. That's the thing
I
I'm
don't-
most envious of, is people who have paid time off.
Yeah, what is that?
But they have to trade in their...
Lucas's bereavement is 3 days.
What's bereavement for?
When you lose a loved one.
Oh, that's what I thought.
3 days. And not paid. Just you can take off work for 3 days.
It's so crazy.
I am so passionate about our fucking death culture. I don't know. Anyways, Megan,
Whitney.
brother, maybe part of my depression is us not doing Ma Pod enough.
Let's do it more. We can do this.
If I have your mom now as a babysitter, it's like
Fuck
easy.
yeah.
It's like, hey, could you watch Poochie for an hour and a half?
Hell yeah.
Just Pooch. Although it's about to be summer. And Ruby will be free.
What will we do?
I don't know.
Well, we can swim.
We can swim. I'm gonna go build a pyramid, y'all.
Me too. I'm going to build the inverse of her pyramid so we can put our pyramids together as one.